jumping into this session, all of you during the last session had a lot of prep time to kind of get ready to assault the facility on the rogue planet, kind of hidden within the nebula. That was a few light years away. Acquisiting a Romulan cloaking device with some stipulations attached, you were able to equip the Hera with it. The Hera took to the modification relatively well with a minor incident of calibration. That calibration proved to be successful and none the wiser as you approached the hazard teams consisting of Romulan, Klingon, and Federation Special Forces transported onto the ground at 3 separate locations for a simultaneous 3-prong attack. That, as you were below, Commander Alaska Notasky led with Lance Corporal West to assault, and sneaking through, you were able to, for the most part, remain unnoticed. However, the crates and such, you were able to find a fair amount of quantities of something that is probably Ketracel White, with some other elements added in. You could assume a type of adrenaline booster of some kind. With that being said, above in high orbit, the Hera, in the midst of her cloak, encountered 2 scimitar-class warbirds. However, they seem to not be so in tune. However, a third one dropping out from a nearby system and immediately picking up where the Hera is, charged weapons. The cloak was deactivated and the assault on the Hera began. And that is where we pick up as the Hera is getting pelted with disruptor fire. Thankfully, the Hera is a tough ship, and an Akira class does not go down easily. As the bulkheads are already creaking and the sparks are flying and fucking rocks are appearing on the bridge, because we all know that trope. As that continues, the con officer, as he's going through, looking around, trying his damnedest to outmaneuver not 1, but 3 Romulan Scimitar ships as they are unloading disruptive fire. Captain Phillips, what are your orders? Because this is...
I told him to raise shields and return fire.
Okay.
That's what I said last session.
Yep. Uh, alright. So, let me bring something.
Oh, where was Alaska warned by Apricity last game? Because I
Yes.
remember
Yes,
Apricity
it
used to
was
be.
a brief memo, I think, is what was sent. And it was like the most summarized version of it.
Yeah, it was basically one of Apricity's classic memos. Not going to be able to retrieve you for the next God knows how long. We're kind of under attack. Basically.
Yeah, let me bring up... Is it this one? Nope. Where is it? Okay, I actually need this book to come up. Can... PDF? Hello? Okay, there we go. Where is it? This is important. There we go. Okay, so for this Akira class ship, returning fire. Whoever would like to roll for the ship may do so. This is going to be as a stat demands for returning fire. That's going to be a. Actually, Captain, is this going to be just a weapons-free situation, or are you locating for a specific area to target?
We got 3 ships burning down on this shooting at us. I'm doing weapons free.
Okay. So can either pick an NPC or Neshik or a Pricity can roll this. I feel like a Pricity is not going to be at the helm of weapons fire. But then weapons free is going to be a daring security roll with a difficulty of 3, followed by the ship's weapons and security. And the ship's weapons and security, its weapons is 11 and its security is 2. So whoever wants to roll for the ship may roll for the ship, and whoever wants to roll for the Hera, they may roll for the Hera's actual aim and firing.
I know my daring security would only come up to 12 total. I don't also know if you want me on weapons, or given that I'm the only one who knows how to drive, if you would rather have me be driving the ship.
Oh, you're driving, and
Okay.
altogether mine's a 15.
I mean, you can get up out of your chair, Captain, and go over to the tactical station if you need to.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Getting up and going to the tactical station, you slightly feel yourself buckle a little bit as another impact of disruptor strafing hits across the port aft as it strikes, and you can hear one of the engineering sections across the bridge call out that the one of the port side aft impulse engine has been hit and is now operating at 16% capacity.
That's just great. So it's daring command, right?
This is because it's a weapon one. This is going to be daring security.
Mm.
Daring security is going to be
Not
a difficulty of 2, and then someone else can roll for the ship. Doesn't matter who.
okay. Mine's a 12, so
Here, I can do the ship. The ship is just 1d20, right?
The ship is 1d20, and it is going to be a weapons 11 and a security of 2, so 13 total.
okay. I have 2 5s.
2 5s, okay.
Yeah.
2 5s plus
The 1 success from the ship.
okay, so you have 1 momentum in addition to that. Weapons free. Let me take a look really quick. I actually have to look this up because I know this does a lot of damage.
Oh, it should be good then.
Let me look really quick because it's it would be under God, I think it's the core book really quick here. It has to be. It's such a strong thing. So as you weapons free and fire, I want to ask you something, and this is very important. Because this will affect how things are going to work in terms of the damage and its accuracy. Are you doing phaser arrays, photon torpedoes, or quantum torpedoes?
Huh. But let's just one of this. I don't know. I want to keep him alive, but also disable him. So I think I'm just gonna go. Fuck it. I'll go quantum on it.
Okay.
Quantum torpedoes.
Okay, so quantum torpedoes. That's gonna be an. That's gonna be 8d6.
Fuck. Okay.
Yep, it does a lot.
Alright. I got 4 in my hand. Yay. Let me get my other 2. Yeah, let me get another one.
Okay.
And good old number 6. They said how many did you say? 8?
Yep, it's 8.
Shit. Okay. Alright. I have at least 2 more someone. I did that much damage. Good. Oh well. Should be fun.
How much?
I didn't roll yet. I was getting all the dice.
Ah, okay. I did not hear.
I have 6 dice and I need to get 2 more. Oh. Alright. The Starfleet symbol, that's a 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, the stuff, the delta? No, that's an effect. But it'll count as a 1 as well.
Okay. So I gotta do math, yay. That's 4 plus 1. Um, 19 points of damage, 2 effects.
Holy shit. Okay. My
dice love me.
Not only do you absolutely with the just a quantum torpedo spread, which the Hera doesn't have a large complement of them. It has a complement of, I believe, let me look at its stats really quick. Yeah, it only has a quantum torpedo cargo load of 26. However, in a kind of weapons-free, just fire moment, you just launch. You launch 6 of that payload.
Jeez.
2 of which heavily damage one of the scimitars, and the next few. Actually, I'm gonna do a roll here because there's a really heavy chance you might actually just disable it.
Hope so.
Holy shit. Okay, 1 second. I have to look at this. This is important. So that would do that. Okay, so if that's what that happens,
This is possible. I mean, with my rules, yeah, it's strongly possible.
wow. Unbelievable. Okay.
Oh, now I'm concerned.
You blasted through its shields. In addition to it, one of the kind of underswept wings is absolutely blown off, and as it kind of almost spins around, hits the kind of one of the rear impulses before kind of just floating off into space. This ship is, by rule standing, is disabled.
Huh. Oh, one down, two to go.
The
I know they're pissed.
enemy ships, the larger one, the kind of the wings almost continue folding back like scales almost being lifted upwards, and the entire wing begins to kind of like looks like it's pulsing with, just in the view screen, looks like it's pulsating with some kind of electrical energy
Oh boy. Yeah.
as it fires what almost looks like a wide net at the Hera.
Okay, you won't tell you, but shit. Okay. Is there any chance of me disabling it before it completely engulfs the harem?
This right here, it has, as it fires, the ship's AI and onboard computer warns you. Impact in 7 seconds. As that begins to happen, as you now have to determine reacting.
Mm.
Down on the ground, I give you a little time to think.
Yeah.
Down on the ground, for Lance Corporal West and Commander Oleska, the compound immediately shifts from kind of a quiet, sort of jungle-ish area. The lights begin turning on. These focused lights, and there's a dull, repetitive, whining hum that appears, that repeats the same sound every maybe 4 seconds. You can determine that this is an alert by this compound.
So Havoc Squad is with us.
Mm-hmm.
I will quickly go to the ordnance officer and go, 3 charges up on the ceiling and we're getting out of here. We'll try to make...
Yes, Commander. 3 charges? Alright.
West will open up his hands to have one given to him, and he will set one of the charges. Because I have a talent for that.
Yeah,
Focus.
This hazard officer is the same person that you've been. It's the Orion woman you briefly encountered, as she kind of just tosses it over a little haphazardly, maybe a little bit carelessly, but she doesn't seem too bothered by it. She kind of is approaching this as this is a state of what is and is going to be, and just hands it off to you. We should probably make sure within this compound all the explosives are equidistant from everything, so we can get as much damage and as much value out of them.
Indeed.
Alright.
And I go to the science officer, if they have one.
Oh, they do.
Any chance you located the command center?
Hard to say. This has got a pretty thick, I don't know, scanning blocker or something. I would have to assume we're on a exterior outpost side of. I think central is inwards and underground. That would make the most sense to me.
I point to 2 other members. You two, look for any air vents that we can use to get in.
Air vents reminds me of Starfleet Academy. All right. One of the Andorian officers, he's looking around and finds something. It's not really an air vent. It's more like a water drain. That might work. I have no idea how deep and how sanitary that is.
Well, part of this job is you don't get to choose whether it's sanitary or not. And I assume we have like little kind of pocket drones that we can use to look in small spaces.
Yes, they are very short range though. They don't go any further than maybe 20 meters.
Alaska will toss one down just to see what the sides look like.
Size-wise, the sides and stuff, you can definitely have everyone go down. It's just going to have to be kind of like a staggered single file. You could definitely almost go 2 by 2. It's just thin enough to where that's not entirely comfortable. So getting down in there truly is the riskiest part because you are funneled.
What kind of boots are we wearing?
Standard
Do we have
assault.
mag boots?
Not with you. This is a ground assault. Mag boots weren't really part of the plan.
Okay. So Alaska will go to our team and go, we go 2 by 2 and keep your phasers up.
Yes, sir. Anything you are doing west while setting this explosive?
Just making sure that it's set where it needs to be.
Okay.
And possibly rigging up my own thing.
What might this own thing be?
In case our demolitions officer is taken out, I would still be able to set this one off by tapping my comm badge 3 times.
Okay. 1 second here. Nope, I don't want that happening. There we go.
Corresponding explosion should set off the others, so.
Okay. That works then. You're not entirely pressured to do this under duress, so you don't actually have to make a roll for it. But it's probably getting close, before all of you are heading downwards, and the best way to describe this kind of knee-deep water that you end up down here with each of your members here, it's like knee-deep mud, but just a little bit less. Like, it's a little bit more viscous than that. As you move through, you can hear voices far off, and you actually hear, as you're down here, actually, that's a good question. Alaskan West, where are you? Front or rear?
Alaska would be front.
Okay.
She is not the kind of officer who hides behind junior officers.
Yeah, I was just trying to determine what people are. Okay.
Yeah, I would be in the front, but in front of Alaska.
Got it. Alright, yeah, then 2 of you can actually hear, and even a couple of your fellow Hazard team members. Commander! Where we came from. You can hear voices, moving through, and just What the hell is this alarm for? I think we're under attack right now. And a couple more things boots, and you can hear them moving around. You're not able to get any sort of direct read. But you do hear a distinctive sentence leave one of their mouths. Hey, what the hell is that?
Click, click, click.
And visor down, and I am going to try and see if I can see a senior officer to shoot.
As the explosion happens, it is a thunderous roar that happens. And now that dull whine turns into what sounds like probably a modified Elcar's red alert system. They are now at high alert. Putting your visor down, not immediately in the vicinity, but you can at least see the telltale tracks and signs of someone recently in front of you.
I follow those tracks, and I do the hand motions of having the hazard team follow me.
Okay. Alright, as you continue down with the hazard team, you eventually exit into an underground the best way I could describe it is an underground hangar. There looks like there's a couple of Romulan shuttles, older models, a few Type 10 shuttlecraft, as well as a small flotilla's worth of Type 8 and 9 shuttlecrafts as well.
Are they arrayed in a sort of fighter group style?
A little
The
bit.
Type 9.
Yeah, a little bit. This looks like this would be an air defense for this. Not so much for ship-to-ship combat, but for ground support, these would do the trick for sure.
Do I see any control panels for flight control?
There looks like there's a primary hub kind of further off. Like, if you were to enter into this room and pressed up against a wall, is kind of like a semicircle kind of station with glass and such, so that you can observe. You could assume that might be where it is.
Can I zoom in with my visor?
Yes, you can.
I will scan what appears to be the hub and see if there's any individuals up there.
There are more than you're expecting. There are probably about 8.
And how many total of there are us?
Total with your hazard team, it totals out to being only 10, so it's not a huge advantage.
More dicey than I would like. But I might be able to even the odds a little bit. I would need a better position, and I am whispering this to Wes. I would need a better position to snipe.
Okay.
Basically, what I'm wanting to do is find a position where I could snipe one person, and then the momentum of the bullet will snipe another person behind them.
There are many avenues in which you could do that. The only problem is the way the shuttles are laid out is it makes it a little difficult, which means you will literally be threading a needle to get the most effective shot.
And I can use one of the shuttles as cover, couldn't I?
Yes, you could.
Should I roll to find a more advantageous spot?
Yes, I'm going to have you roll the... This is going to be... This is going to be reason security, I think. Difficulty 3.
That's a 14 for me. I would like to buy an extra die if everyone's okay with that.
Okay.
And would infiltration work here?
Yes, it will.
Okay, so anything under a 5 will be a crit. Nope, no successes. I got a 15, a 17, and a 10.
Okay. Looking around, it's just with your visor and stuff scanning, they are alert. They're definitely being aware of danger, and thus they're kind of hectically moving around. You can't determine what they're doing, but you can imagine that they're, at the very least, they're definitely not aware of any of your presences yet. They're just aware that something's up.
Alright then, since I can't do that, I will simply find a good spot and snipe at least one of them.
Okay. Wait, don't see it. This is going to be a control security difficulty 1. However, I am going to boost the threat range by spending 4 points of threat.
Alright, and for this shot in particular, would composure work?
If you take your time, yeah.
Well, that will be a 14 again for me.
Would I be able to assist by acting as a spotter?
Yes, you will.
And what does that give me?
It'll give you another die, basically.
Alright. And, I will give you a threat for an extra die so that I can have 4 dice.
Okay.
Do I roll 1 for being assisting?
Yes, you're gonna roll 1 for assisting. Because you are technically another variable element. Your spotting will definitely make or break you, so.
Awesome, because I rolled a 1.
Amazing.
I rolled a delta, a 5, a 16, and a 20.
Okay, the complication will come up. But, let's see. So
that's 2 crits?
It's 2 crits, so 5, and then a 1, so that's... Okay, so that's 6 successes total?
Nice. But I did get 2 complications.
You did, but keep in mind, even though with those complications, you guys have 6 momentum now.
So I would roll for damage.
Yes.
So what would I roll for this rifle?
For the rifle, give me one moment here. Let me look because I believe this is going to be
Because it's a pretty unique rifle.
Yeah, I have it written somewhere. I just gotta look for it, and I'm blind as shit. So give me a 1 moment while I move through and figure it out. There it is. Okay. No, that is my reference for my own stuff. I don't need to know what a fucking Type 1 phaser does. That's not what I'm looking at. Um, it'll be 4d6
That is exactly how much.
with the quality of vicious 1.
And what is vicious 1 again?
Give me 1 second. Let me double check. I just gotta look really quick here. Da, 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 da. Ouch. Give me 1 second. I think I found it. I just need to remember really quick if this is.
Well,
I just have it throughout the notes here.
I don't think it might. I think it might not matter because I went ahead and rolled, and I have 2 single successes, and then 2 successes that have 2 of the symbols on them.
Okay, so what Vicious 1 does is it's... let's see.
So that's 6 damage.
Okay. 6 damage, and then... Let's see here. How many deltas did you get?
No deltas, but
Okay.
it was. I had 2 single successes, and then 2 of them were the ones that had 2 on the face of the die.
So let's see. So Vicious doesn't do anything unless you roll a delta. But effectively, just for future reference, if you roll a delta, it's going to increase the damage. Vicious 1 time is going to be plus 3 damage, is basically what it is.
Ah, okay. Well, I rolled 6 damage anyway.
Yeah, this person drops. Like, they had no hope of getting out of that. Like, West is in his element, honestly. However,
That was Alaska that made the shot.
yes, but you spotted, and spotters are important. So the shot is fired up, and this is where the complications happen. As immediately as the shot takes down one, there is response from the others and a flip of a control that you can see slide past, and there's a shield that almost goes around the glass. In addition to that, you can see through the visor that they are evacuating the area. They have said something as they were leaving to probably a comm station on the wall, and there is the immediate sound of heavy footfalls coming from the northernmost area that you've entered, which you can assume there's another corridor, and you have seen it, but it sounds...
Just a point of clarification if this affects narrative. Alaska can read lips.
Okay, yeah. Then with that, all you're gonna read is we have infiltrators is basically what is said.
Okay.
But you can hear the heavy footfalls almost respond immediately, so that does show that this group is very synchronized and therefore very dangerous. as the complication begins here, as suddenly a mesh of phaser, disruptor, and alarmingly, a single beam that nearly streaks one of the hazard team, though they are able to roll out of the way of it. Plasma fire? As a firefight ensues in this hangar bay, ricocheting and impacting against the shuttle's space frame. What is West and Alaska doing here? Because this is a very precarious situation. What originally was going to be a 10v8 situation potentially is not a 10v8. It's you are outnumbered 1-2 right now.
What's the type of shuttle we're up against right now?
This one would be a Type 8. So it's a little larger, it's a little bulkier.
I would like to go to the person with the charges and run to the shuttle.
Okay.
After grabbing some charges.
Alright.
I'm gonna blow something up.
I would like to try to find one of the smaller Type 9s and get inside.
Okay. Type 9s are unfortunately very easy in Starfleet's history to be brittle, and on top of that, they get stolen a lot. It's not too difficult to go onto the side panel and do a little bit of hot wiring to get the door. It takes a moment, but you are able to do it, and you can still feel the slight burning impacts that are following you a little bit, as there is an active firefight happening now.
And I'm going to try and go to the helm and turn on the shuttle and activate the weapon systems.
Okay, hold on. Let me bring up shuttle stats. This is important. Type 9 shuttle, hold on. Ships. Is it this one? Yeah.
Keep in mind, I have a con of 1.
I'm aware. This is why I love this. This is so funny in so many different ways. Hold on.
I only have a con of 2, which is why I didn't think of it.
And our Neshik is the only one in this entire party who knows how to drive.
And it's also why I chose the smaller shuttles, not one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, let's see here. I have to bring up the shuttlecraft. Nope. That is not correct. Star Trek Adventures. I am not looking for that in particular at all. Okay. So you're activating the weapon systems?
Yes, I'm turning the shuttle from whatever position it is to face the incoming threat.
Okay. So the incoming threat, let's see. You are going to have to make a con roll just to get it to move.
Yes, I know.
And that is going to be a... How fast are you doing this? Are you doing this in a slightly controlled variance, or are you just going for it?
She doesn't know how to drive, so she's just gonna go for it.
Okay. Daring plus con. This is going to be a difficulty of 3.
Well, that is an 11, so not as bad as it could be, but... I am going to give you a threat for an extra die.
Okay, keep in mind, you have 6 momentum.
Like all the momentum in the world. Just 5 dice.
Well, then instead I would spend a momentum to get that extra die instead of
Got it.
A threat.
Alright.
A 12, a 15, and one more. A 3.
Okay. So difficulty 3, so a 12, a 3. So, let's see, that's only one success, right?
Yep.
Okay. It's not that you can't get it to move. Because like any aspiring con officer, which you most certainly are not, you can get it off the ground. It's just keeping it in kind of like a hovered position to have the vantage point is a little bit difficult. We're going to have this be a simultaneous thing. If you would like to roll the... because you're just going for it, so I'm not going to have you roll any personal attributes or disciplines for this. However, I am going to have you roll for the shuttlecraft. And that is going to be weapons and security. And that is a 7 plus 1. So that's 8. And in addition to that, I am going to make this another difficulty 3.
Alright.
And I am going to spend 2 of the threat that you gave back.
Alright, I'm going to spend another momentum for an extra die.
Got it. 4.
And I'd like to throw something at you.
Okay.
Would improvisation work here? Because I'm improvising with the shuttle.
Oh, yeah. You have no
Okay.
idea what the hell you're doing. You're just going for it.
Rolling. Well, a 12, a 15, and a 17.
12, 15, 17. Okay. So there's no successes in there either.
The shuttle blows up.
As Type 9s are known to do. No. However, the weapon systems, as you begin firing an arc, just firing with, well, I assume you're firing with the phaser emitters, would be my guess?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know most shuttlecraft in this era have, like, micro torpedoes, effectively, but I kind of figured that was probably not going to be your choice here.
We are in an enclosed space. That seems a little risky even to Alaska right now.
As it strafes across, it does not hit anyone, but it does come close, kind of moving past the hazard team and onto the people assaulting, and hits a Type 9 shuttle as well, and that shuttle looks like it has taken a fair amount of damage, but you are barely managed to stay stabilized here. Well, that is all happening as Westies, you grab these explosives and begin heading off to go make a big bang. You are nearly caught by a shuttlecraft's phaser emitter crossing the way.
Oh boy.
Where are you setting these explosives or tossing or whatever you might be planning with them?
Well, see, with shuttles, they still have a reactor, and if you get that to go boom, they create a bigger boom.
I see. Okay. So this is the question, because this is important on the size of the boom. Type 10, 9, or 8?
Which one's the biggest?
I believe it's the Type 10. Hold on.
Because I am going for the big one, because theoretically, that would make a bigger boom.
No, it's the Type
bigger
8.
reactor.
It's the Type 8, then that's the largest.
Gotcha.
I forgot completely. Like, I knew in my brain, and then when you asked, my brain froze. But the Type 10 is the shuttlecraft that the Defiant had. But yeah, Type 8, going for that. The Hazard team, laying covering fire. Let's just do a quick roll for them and see how well they're doing. Not great.
They don't have to necessarily hit, they just have to suppress.
Yep, and they are doing a fantastic job at that. It does look like one of them does get tagged in the upper left torso, though it doesn't seem to be a fatal shot. It does seem like it has done a significant damage, and the others are doing a fine job of closing the gap, and in addition, getting them into cover and doing as much like on-field treatment as possible. Going into the Type 8 shuttle, there is no one inside of it, because that'd be weird. Just placing it at the reactor then, and
Oh yeah, I'm setting this up. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to do a roll for this.
yes, just because this will affect the control, the area of it.
Would you say daring engineering would be appropriate?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the focus for ordinances would come into play, correct?
Very much so.
Alrighty. I would like to. What's the difficulty?
This is going to be a difficulty, as many things have been right now, is a difficulty of 3.
I would like to buy an extra die then.
Okay.
Oh, we love to see it. A 3, a 1, and a 5. So 2 crits and a third, another success.
So you go up to 8 moment. Oh my god.
We went from having 0 up to 8.
Yep. Okay. You are very satisfied with this. This is something you're used to doing.
Alrighty, time to bug out.
Okay.
I will attempt to get to a safe distance while on the comms, telling the demolition person who is safely up on the hill to blow the shuttle. Once a certain somebody who hijacked the shuttle gets out of the blast radius. Once I get to safety, I would like to cover the shuttle doors so that way nobody can go in and defuse.
Okay. Doing that, Aleska, are you going to attempt to move yourself away as far as possible?
I am going to GTA exit the vehicle and book it.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. As that happens, and
I would at least try, as I kind of dive out of the shuttle, try to at least to aim it towards the people who are shooting at it.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a precise hit, just in their general direction.
Okay. Yeah. That actually creates enough of a disturbance to get like a brief, like the most brief pause on the hazard team in the firefight, and they take the opportunity to distance themselves. Because they hear West over the comms, and they are making distance because they don't want to be near that. As they go through, open up what looks similar to a tricorder, though it's a bit thinner, and they press their thumb on presumably a like a thumb scanner, and it just there is an. Unfortunately, here's the downfall for something like this. It is going to explode. It is going to catch every single one of the inheritors that you are currently engaged with, and will probably kill them. The downside being is this is an explosion, and you are in an enclosed space. No matter how distant you are, you will hear it. As it does exactly that, and even a shuttlecraft exploding is a large explosion for its size, and it goes outwards, forcing all of you forcibly hitting the deck. And the people, so this, I'll roll generally for the NPCs here too, but I want a fitness security roll difficulty 2 from Alaska and West.
So that's 14 for me. And would athletics work for this?
You said athletics?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so anything under a 5 is a crit.
Would survival work?
Yes, that would also work.
Okay, good, because I rolled a 2 and a 17.
Holy shit. Okay.
So without that crit, I would not have made it.
You are still blown forward and downwards. This was just a determination of whether you could catch yourself before, like, you hit your head or something.
I got a 4 and a 6. So a crit and a success.
Okay.
So 9 now?
Yes. That does not stop that, like, high-pitched whine in your ears and that slight feeling of disorientation. Some of your hazard team is not that lucky, as they do kind of, like, hit the ground a little bit harder, and they don't look like they're concussed, but...
Can we spend momentum to make them okay?
Yes, you could.
Because we have excess momentum, I would like to spend momentum to make them okay.
Got it. Okay. They're good then. Still a little bit dazed, but other than that, they're fine. As they kind of the Orion woman with her kind of operations gold is dusting herself off. One of the... She looks like she got very, very lucky in terms of, like, some of the... like, a small piece of, like, shrapnel explosion as her, the dark, blacked out gold pip is cracked, and there is only probably remaining maybe a third of it, as the rest has gone somewhere else, and you can see what looks like a little bit of tearing from probably metal that just made it past the collar, and just through just sheer dumb luck did not hit, like, any part of her body in just the fabric.
I will go to her. You should keep that pip as a lucky souvenir.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a wonderful piece of advice. I can't hear you yet.
Wes will peel himself off of the ground, and as he's walking by, just tap the body armor that he's wearing. And just gives a thumbs up, also not being able to hear.
Mm-hmm.
How do our opponents look?
Sprawled out and in several places.
she will set her rifle to stun and then start making sure that they don't get up.
There is no way they are getting up from this.
No, that was a big boom.
Mhm. Still, good to check.
Because some people can play dead.
Looking here, it seems that you are fine. However, I think it's no secret to Lance Corporal West and Alaska that you have made yourselves the center of attention in this ground assault. After that explosion, there's no way that certain inheritors and other groups of people will not be centralizing on this location.
Is the shield still up around the hub?
It is technically still up, yes.
How strong is it?
I mean, it looks like it's a standard, like, blast shield. It doesn't look like it's meant to deal with, like, continuous assault. It's meant like it's probably meant to deal with any type of, like, impulse afterburn or light weapons fire.
Do we have any equivalent to C4?
I mean, we have the person with the ordinances,
Mm-hmm.
and we can also spend a momentum to say that we have what we need.
I will go to the ordnance officer with hand signals, because she still can't hear, to blow a small hole in the blast shield.
Kind of looks in, kind of the kit that she has. Yelling a bit too loud and hoping that maybe you can hear, and you can just barely hear it, but I don't have a lot left, but this should do maybe 2 or 3 more explosive tasks as long as we're not doing anything high yield.
I don't want anything high yield, just get us through the shield.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can do that. And she sets it up. It's a smaller device. It looks like it's meant to just kind of have like a punch effect, really. But doesn't take too much longer, and you are able to get through it. And the shield does eventually go down. And it looks like the slight click of the security door that you are exterior to have access to this interior now flips to green.
Fan out and see if there's anything we can use to help us against the oncoming horde that I'm sure is going to breathe down our necks soon.
Okay. As you enter and prepare, the USS Hera above has the next, as the computer is counting down. For Captain Phillips, you have exactly 5 seconds to determine an order and somehow avoid this.
I want to do 2-second warp burst in front of the net, if that's possible.
Okay, that is a high-risk maneuver. Okay, so what is going to happen here is this is going to be this can be Neshek or Captain Phillips.
I mean, Neshik is piloting, so I think it should leave it up to him.
But let's see, for Neshek piloting, then this is going to be a daring con because this is risky as hell. And it is going to be a difficulty of 4.
Okay,
and
well, the
I am
last
going to spend 5 points of threat.
Jeez.
All right. Well, the last time I did a freaky warp situation with the ship, it turned out swimmingly.
This is true.
Daring con means we're rolling against 12. I don't have.
You have
We have
momentum.
a
I'm not actually supposed to be a pilot, so I'm going to need to spend some momentum here to make this feasible.
Remember, one momentum die buying is 1 point of momentum.
One,
The
and
next
then
is
it's
3.
3. And we have.
We have
left
8.
after the explosion. 8. Oh god.
Yeah.
And I can't
We
get
good for
more.
now.
I can't buy more than 4 dice total, or is it 5 dice?
You could.
Yeah.
What you could do. These are the I'm just presenting the options before
Okay.
you. You could buy 2 effectively, and then you could give me a point of threat and add another die.
And that'd bring my total to 5 dice.
And
Okay.
you might have skills
I would
and
ask.
other things.
I would also ask Apricity to lend their computational expertise.
I can do that.
For at least, like, the idea being that I use the ship to compute one jump, and then Apricity helps me compute the second jump, so we minimize the lag time.
Okay. So then, if that is the case here, then what is going to happen here is you're going to roll the daring and con Neshek.
Okay.
So Lieutenant Commander Neshek, she'll be in charge of the actual maneuver. Apricity will be in charge of the calculation here. The threat level and the complication, and the difficulty remain the same. However, both of your rolls will be combined into one, effectively. And for Apricity, because they have this wonderful ability to calculate things in nanoseconds.
I do have positronic brain.
Yep, this is going to be a... This is either going to be an insight or reason engineering.
Bro, I'm going with reason. Why would I not go with reason? All of my abilities are reason-based.
Maybe you're just feeling, really intuitive today.
I mean, fuck it. If we're reason, I get 2 successes just off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes right off the bat, and then I rolled a 1 and a 16.
Holy shit. Okay, so there is one complication, but then that's a success. So 3 successes thus far. So for Neshek, then that's going to be.
I'm still doing the buy 2, give 1 back to get to a total of 5 d20 that I'm rolling.
Okay.
But aside from Apricity's help, I got nothing.
Yeah,
I hit the wrong button.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do also. I give you a threat by default by taking those 2 automatic successes.
Okay.
So I give you. I give you a threat back.
Okay.
I'm very glad I still rolled 5 dice. I also kind of hosed us a little bit.
One, two.
We both got each
3,
other into trouble. It's fine.
4 complications here, and then this is how many successes? 1, 2.
1. It's the one I needed.
How much is it to re-roll?
I can't reroll. I don't have anything that lets me reroll.
You can spend momentum to reroll. Let me check really quick.
Yeah, you can spend momentum. I would just need to know what momentum we're at because I've been keeping track in the chat.
This would be 5 right now, but
5 right now.
Wouldn't it only be
I mean, unless we have enough
4?
momentum to.
Did Apricity spend momentum?
I didn't spend the momentum. I gave a threat. I took a complication and I had to give a threat back because I used augmented ability reason.
Gotcha. And I used 1 to buy 1 die and 3 to buy another, and then I gave threat back for the last. So I only spent 4 momentum.
No, it steps up to buy 1 die. It's 1 momentum. Then when you buy second die, it's 2 additional for 3 total for 2 dice. And then to buy the third die, it's an additional 3.
Okay, I see.
I see.
Yeah, so it's a step up. 1 momentum per extra dice.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
So I may have had to do that a time or two, which is why I know.
Yep. Let's see. Let me check really quick. I think it's just.
Look, I'm willing to crash another ship.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I lied. Augmented ability does something worse than give him a threat back. It increases the complication range.
Well, the good news is I don't think that hurts us any more than we've already hurt ourselves.
I believe it's. I can't find it, but I want to say it's 2 to do like a additional roll or something like that. I can't find it for some freaking reason, but
I'm fine with just leaving it as it is.
okay. So that is all the successes you needed, but with a
It's like 4 complications.
With an equal number of complications, perfectly balanced.
Just all things should be.
oh my god. The 2-second electricity, like Captain Phillips calls out the order. 2-second warp jump, like the shortest jump. Like it is a ridiculously short jump, and that's a really hard thing to calculate. That's where electricity comes in. Electricity, their brain works differently. They can snap judgment, things like this, and all she has to do is just punch in the quick coordinates and go. This net comes around and almost starts to encircle, almost like a very loose version of, like a silked version of a Tholian web, nearly. Before the Hera, you can hear the rumble of the warp core within this, as this is something that a ship is just not meant to do at all, especially one of this size. As you can hear this groan, the bulkheads are creaking in protest, and you see this slight star field for but a fraction of a second before dropping out, and you've basically skipped over the net as you have. However, then you get system-wide alerts happening. First and foremost,
Oops.
that has burned out your warp core. It will take hours to repair this thing. Engineering is already the chief engineer aboard the Hera. She is already up above, screaming and yelling her head off. In not really to you in particular, just this is a horrid situation, and for her, you've somehow made it worse. The aft port thruster and impulse engine completely gone. It's like if you were to see it on like an LCAR's screen, it's flickering. It's barely even a note that it's there. You have hull breaches and structural tears on decks 9, 15, and 12 as well, upwards, as well as the kind of the pontoon on the starboard section has completely torn away at this stress. In addition to that, you get a flare from the Hera's chief medical officer as she rings up on the comms, just, what the hell was that?
I I call that the Jackson Phillips special.
Well, don't do it
I would,
again.
yeah, that's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, well, I don't have this many biobeds.
Shit. Okay. All right, let's get this over with then, so we can get our crew on getaway
Do you
team and
need
get the heck
help?
out of here.
I would prefer it if you can assist, Doctor. It would be greatly appreciated. I've already activated the EMH Mark III. I had to. And she's just as pissy as I am, if not more.
All right, we'll go make it 3 pissy doctors. Adversity's gonna bow out. With their mobile platform, they'll still be available for the conversation, just you won't have a face to look at.
The Apricity, when you get down to deck 7, where the med bay is, yeah, the doctor was not lying. There is not enough biobeds to go around for a ship of this size. I mean, it's a relatively large ship. The ship holds a crew of 552. However, it for like, it only has access to 15 biobeds, and currently there are about 7 other people that just don't have access. They're a little less urgent in terms of care, but some of them do have like burns from what probably are warp core, like plasma burns. There are some that look like they might have actually had shrapnel or something get embedded into them. There's a lot of serious injuries. Notably, though, there are no deaths that you can see. But this is a fairly strenuous situation, as the doctor who approaches you, very contradictory to her species. She is a Bolian, and she is tired looking, and looks like she could take up the old Earth tradition of smoking if it was available to her. As the lab coat that she has over her medical kind of teal is going over. Oh, thank goodness, someone competent. And I mean, it's just not widely accepted at this stage in the 25th century. But says as someone competent, and the trill figure that is the EMH Mark III kind of rolls her eyes, just, oh, could like to see you do better by yourself, and just, see, I have wonderful company. Most of the
You'll both be excellent for the situation at hand. And I'm gonna plug myself into the med bay and start triage.
Yep.
Upstairs, I would, unless Nashik has something better to do, I think that we would probably both be best spent on trying to get the software back in order.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really do anything about, the missing bulkheads and shit, but
Yeah. And there's automatic, like, force fields that appear to deal off and cordon off, like, sections of the ship, but for Neshik on your console, and same for you, Captain Phillips, looking at, like, a tactical console near the chair, and that's slightly raised up, you can see portions of the ship. There are areas that say, like, Section 22-3J or something like that, and it's just completely missing. Like, it just doesn't exist anymore. And as this continues, you're able to skip over it. The 2 Scimitar class ships were not expecting that. You do have an opportunity to get the jump on them. So, Captain Phillips and Neshik, what are you going to do here?
That's my question. Do we still have any sort of control over our weapons right now?
You do. I will say this: phasers are the safest option. With the structural damage, photon and quantum torpedoes are very risky because there is an opportunity for things like those to go wrong.
Yeah, so I am going to use my phasers, and I want to try to disable them.
Try and disable. Okay.
Mhm.
This
I'm
you
using
have the
both
jump on
weapons.
them, so you most 100% can do control security here for the roll. And for 1 second, that's not it. That is not the Utopia Planning ship book that I need. That is it. Okay. With that, yeah, you can do control security as a my God, Paco. Can do control security as a role, and then for the Hera, you can do weapon security, which is weapons 11 security, +4, and whoever wants to roll for the ship can.
Great. I'm going to roll. You said it was control security.
Control security. This is going to be a difficulty of 2, actually, because you do have the jump on them.
Right. Give me a sec. I am dealing with a mad headache tonight.
You're good.
That's an 11.
Okay. 11. Alright. And then who wants to roll for the ship?
I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
So, is this another gunnery check, basically, the 13?
This is going to be a 15. You have to
15.
hit 15. Or lower. 15 or lower.
Let's see, 15. There we go. 1 success.
1 success. That's all you need, because that totals up to 2. As the phaser array begins arcing and striking back, because you would have been facing front of it, and you warp jumped to behind it as you fire away. You know what? I think because Neshik is firing this time, why don't... Yeah, let's... Neshik roll 96.
Jeez.
We punch a hole in the space-time continuum.
Yeah, it's a pocket dimension.
96, you said?
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I push this button.
Fair enough. Okay. So that's going to be...
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, okay.
Okay. So we have 1, 2... 3, 4... Okay, 4 effects, which is also 4 damage plus a... Nope. 3, so 4 damage, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, that's
That's a lot of damage.
that's fucking... Holy shit. Okay, so that's actually gonna total up to being 11, right? Yeah, 11 plus the effects here, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 11. What is? This is actually really important. Versatile. Okay. All right. Yeah, that. Let me just check really quick here. Oh my god. This is the second, this is the primary, more advanced one, and you lay into this ship. It is not disabled, but it is heavily damaged, and it is suffering breaches so intensely as you have begun firing in turn. As the weapon assault on the Hera has happened, you respond in kind, firing away. And you you only really have one more scimitar class ship to deal with, and this one looks like as you jumped behind it and arced a firing spread of phasers, the other one that had left to charge you is now circling and coming towards you. Both ships facing each other. Captain Phillips, how are you going to command the bridge to respond here? Because you have limited resources at this stage. You have two options before you at the speed that is showing up and is charging up the fire. You can either choose to do something defensive, or try to, or you can try and meet it head on in terms of offense.
I don't have limited resources, and my ship looks like it's been in a fight. I got beat up, so I'm going to try something defensive this time.
Okay. What ideas do you have for defensiveness?
The cloak's no longer working.
The cloak is no longer working. Yeah, it just... The ship has sustained too much damage, and it is one of those systems where it'll probably drain any essential stuff that you have right now.
Yeah, and I know a person who kind of needs the sick bay right now, so yeah, no. Not risking the cloak. Now if I go easy spot me. I mean, is there a way to disable them without having to fire my phasers or anything? Maybe a burst? That would...
You could try a burst. The other and this is with the resources you have. You could definitely fire torpedoes. That is risky, though. You could try another phaser array. That's more of an offense thing, and that will... You're kind of trying to consolidate power where it is. You can do a few things, but you can't do other things if you're choosing offense. And you can do other things, but you can't do these things when you're choosing defense. Going through, you can attempt to basically make it miss its attack just by trying to do some sort of evasive maneuver with the remaining impulse engine and the thrusters you have at your disposal. Or you could fire at them. And finally, the last one, which is kind of a risky maneuver and it has the chance to really ruin both ships, is strafe by it and hit one of its downswept wings. That will hurt the ship significantly.
Yeah, not risking that last option. So I guess I can use what's left of my impulse engine and my thrusters and try to make it miss.
Okay. Using with that command, I'm gonna have both Neshik. I'm gonna have her and Captain Phillips roll a control and con with a difficulty of I haven't been nice yet, so why start now? With a difficulty of 5.
Control con, and it's 2 of us together, so this gets totaled.
Yes, it will get totaled. Difficulty of 5, and I am going to let's see. I gave threat back since the last points of remaining threat, all 5 of them.
Ah,
All right,
We
my
do have
control
5
con
momentum as a reminder.
that is true. Did you want to
My
use that
control
one?
con is 14 total.
Mine is 12 total.
If that's the case, should I take the momentum then? Because I know it might not look it based off the last set of rolls I did, but statistically,
Yeah, statistically, it's best if
I
you
have a
take.
better chance of rolling lower.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll do same thing as before, which was buy 2, give 1 for 5.
Okay. All right. So that puts us to 3 here. And then give 1, so 5. All right.
5 dice for control con against 14.
Yep. Okay.
It's 3, and you said you were spinning threats, so I think that's 2 complications.
Yep, that's 2 complications. And what was your Nashik here? Like your mark that you had to hit?
Oh, 14.
14, got it. Okay, 1.
Yeah, I have 3 successes off that.
3 successes. Okay, for Captain Phillips, you were rolling control and con as well.
Yeah, and my control con is a 12. And I hit that on the mark.
Okay, perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So is it just 12? Is the other one not a 12?
I got 2 12s, actually.
Oh, 2 12s. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you, you, the two of you managed to scrape by. It's kind of a combined effort with you controlling thrusters from a separate control and the and then controlling separately the impulse engine and kind of doing a quick maneuver as it begins firing, and you charge it head on because that's about the only way you can go, and kind of spin 180 and just go underneath it, missing barely. You can almost hear it scrape against the last remainder of your shields, and your shield LCARS comes up and it is reading 9%.
Oh,
As
And then since
as it strafes past, and it was not ready for that because it wasn't expecting a charge to dodge. And continue, Neshik.
I was going to say, since we succeeded on a test with controller insight, I can use incisive scrutiny to obtain information.
Okay. What question do you want to ask?
This ship has been mostly untouched, aside from the initial barrage we did, correct?
Yeah.
And just now.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking pretty ragged, but also we can't leave we can't leave at all because the war core's burnt out and we still have people on the ground. Is it possible for me to use obtain information in this new position we're in to figure out what is the best way to punch through whatever defenses it has in terms of what weapons we have remaining / any vulnerabilities that have been exposed to us? Like, if this maneuver has put us behind it where they might not have been expecting us to go, would their shields be weaker here, or is there, is this an older model of ship that might have an exposed exhaust port that's 2 meters wide, or...
Okay. It's not that.
What, wrong series?
Yeah, a little bit. However, with that information and seeing weak points, truly it's hard to say where like how effective certain things are. However, you do have an option before you. As I mentioned, your warp core is offline. It's burned out. Its drive plasma, however, is not. You could, in fact, just forcibly eject some of that plasma, effectively cloud it, and this is the big risk here. You can fire a photon or quantum torpedo, and it will probably do a ton of damage. The only thing is if the ship can handle the stress of firing a shot or two. That is the most surefire way to disable or destroy these ships. It is just very, very risky.
Okay, I'll advise the captain of this.
Okay, so what is our stress and shows looking like right now?
Hi.
So
Ooh.
it has a high. This plan has a fairly high chance of succeeding. The thing is that comes out of this risk here is whether or not your ship survives it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Your ship has 9% of its shields remaining, and if we were looking at hull capacity, like just overall like hull structural capacity total, the hull structure is probably sitting at about 42%. It's not looking great. It's a very risky maneuver. It's a high risk, high reward situation.
Right.
The only downside here is if you choose not to do that, like that's the big downside. The other thing you could do is try and somehow stall for time. The downside for that is your ship will not be able to have an endurance battle, as it has already gone up against 2 scimitar ships already, and it is currently dealing with the last one, and it is very, very close to not being able to
function.
Yeah.
Two not good options.
And all the scimitar ships have been hit. One fully like disabled, one at the breach, and the other one relatively okay, but doing this, if you maneuver correctly, will most assuredly disable both of them. And if it doesn't disable both of them, it sure as hell should make them back the hell off, because then for them the risk will also be just as great, if not more.
Right. So I'm going to risk it and use the drive plasma.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right.
And I also say hail the 2 ships after we release some of the drive plasma.
Okay. As you strafe by, and this is like both ships are not moving at the optimal speeds because they just can't anymore. But as you move across and kind of create this sort of like streaking net, you send out a hail, and what is the hail that you're sending?
I said, this is Fleet Captain Jackson Phillips of the USS Hera. I just released some of my drive plasma. If you guys don't retreat...
You don't even get to finish the sentence as a disruptive blast hits part of the hull.
Jeez.
I admire their alacrity and response, Captain.
Yeah, I'm actually proud of that. It's kind of bad. I'm actually proud of that. Okay. So, am I far enough away to where I can ignite the plasma without hurting my ship any more than already is? Or
it's risky. You don't know for sure. The question is depending on like how assuredly you want the damage to be. A quantum torpedo will most assuredly do the most damage. A photon is probably the safest out of all of that, but there's no guarantee it will disable both. It just has a high chance of disabling both. A quantum torpedo is going to have a higher blast yield, but a photon torpedo is going to have one just as large in some aspects. So it's a risk factor. It depends on which yield of torpedo you're taking.
You said photon was safer, and that's what I'm
Slightly,
going.
very slightly.
Yeah.
Very slightly safer than quantum. I'm
I
going
would say
photon.
like the percentage chance where the risk for a quantum torpedo, there's like a 93% chance of risk. With a photon torpedo, there is about an 88.
Yeah, I'll take the 88 any day right now.
Plus, one of them is already almost trash because of the phaser barrage. That one's probably going to go out.
Yep. And I say lock on to the dry plasma cloud, a photon torpedo, and fire.
They don't even have to make a roll for that, as... Are you just firing a single one?
Yeah, I'm going to fire a single one.
Okay. You take the aft torpedo launcher and just... That very classic TNG torpedo sound launches. And there is... As there is no sound in space, you can only see the ignition and the widening, like, flame effect. This nebulous cloud of just burning plasma that envelops both ships. As there is it almost condenses inward on itself before expanding outwards. And you can... Automatically, the computer brings up on the view screen an impact alert. And with your impulse engines and thrusters, there is no way you can dodge this. You're just gonna have to hope here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to all. I made all call. I said, all hands, brace for impact.
And here's the thing. I am going to roll a D100 right now.
Ah, shit.
A D100, and keep in mind, if I roll under an 88, you are totally fine. If I roll above, we'll visit that if I roll above.
Oh, no. Cross your fingers, everybody. Fans included.
I rolled with a D100, 86.
Oh, I fucking got
As down in the sick bay, you do feel the ship rock as there is a shockwave impact, and as it kind of, you can almost feel the gravity inside become just this outward force of gravity, as the ship probably is likely rolling and spinning a little bit, and then suddenly everything in the ship goes dark before and going onto emergency power, as the primary power is non-existent right now.
Can I still hail the ship, at least?
You can attempt to.
I attempt to send another hail to the remaining scimitar that's still there. And I say, again, I repeat, this is Fleet Captain Jackson Phillips of the USS Hera. What I've just done, I did not want to do. You left us no option. So it's best if you just turn and leave this system. Because I know you guys really did not want to continue fighting right now. Knowing that this could happen to your ship too.
There is no response, as you are able to, it's like very static view screen, but you are able to see the other scimitar, the two that are disabled and one that looks like it's operating similarly on minimal power. And you realize this ship is effectively just running on like emergency like primary
on fumes right now.
systems. Like it cannot. It is focusing primarily on basically life support. That's all it can do right now. That
They
is
don't need to know that.
well, yeah, but
I'm bluffing. Let's see what happens.
well,
It's stalling for time. Yeah.
yeah, but they themselves look like they're operating on a similar situation, and after about maybe maybe 5 minutes of this tense feeling, there is no response from this remaining Romulan Scimitar. However, there are just a little bit on auxiliary, and unfortunately for you, Neshik, you can't see the particular model of ship on scanners. You can only tell the like original affiliations. There looks like there's dropping out of warp is various Romulan craft, Klingon craft, and Dorian craft. Probably a fair remainder of an inheritor fleet.
Oh boy.
However, it seems as the primary sovereign class that seems to be taking the lead here, alongside a Diderix and a and and a Vulture class that have dropped out of warp. Before they can even charge weapons, it feels a hail does come through. And it is what sounds like it's an audio because you literally don't have the capacity to open the view screen, but it is a voice, maybe Klingon, and it's definitely coming from the Vulture cruiser, and you can determine that, Nashik. You have fought bravely. This is your chance to surrender.
Here's the thing. If we did surrender, huge if, what guarantee that we won't be treated fairly? There's a guarantee that we will. That's the point.
There is another hail that comes through.
Please tell me it's on my side.
It is a voice maybe you weren't expecting to hear. Parker, you're a fucking troll.
God damn it, Parker.
God damn it, I was gonna keep it going.
Thank you, Joe.
Somebody had to say it.
But it is a voice you weren't expecting to hear. It's the voice of Fleet Admiral Jellicoe, actually.
Wait, what?
I belay that order, Captain. And there is not one, not two, but 3 Yorktown-class capital cruisers that drop out of warp, blocking their path to you.
Jellicoe, I'm only going to say this one time only, but I am so glad to see you right now.
I'll keep that entire statement in my record.
Okay. Yeah.
There is you can hear the conversation as an open comm line. This another inheritor says something, and then follows with, "That's admirable, but you have 3 ships to 46 of ours." 3? And when he says that in such an inquisitive and fearless tone, you probably have a small, like, flotilla of Starfleet ships from what the nearest starbase is to Horizon, which totals itself out to be about 17 ships. On top of that, there are ships from the Romulan Republic, the Klingon Empire, from Vulcan, and quite a few other governmental bodies.
My comm is still open, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was that you were saying about 3 ships to your 47?
This is a display of force, and something that Jellicoe's a little bit known for. To their 47 ships, you are now backed by 253.
That's. I can't say anything. I'm speechless. I don't care. I'm speechless. I can't say nothing.
You can't see it, but you can almost hear Jellicoe like lean back in his command chair. "I'll be accepting your unconditional surrender now." As that occurs, there is another ship that drops out of warp behind you, and it's a smaller ship. It's actually significantly smaller. It's a refit Nova class. As that has occurred, and down below, as the conclusion above the sky has happened, down below with Neshek and West, there is...
You said Neshek and West?
I'm sorry.
Well, Neshek got space. Neshek got space, remember?
This is true. This is true. My engineer got space.
We had music and everything.
It was a very heartwarming moment.
Anyways, Alaska and West. But down below, with Alaska and West, and the Hazard team all ready to hearing this approaching force. What are you doing? Like taking up defensive positions, or?
Alaska's at the entrance to the hub with her rifle ready and ready to fire as soon as she sees anyone coming through.
Okay.
Same.
Visor is also down.
Right. The Hazard team joins you in taking up tactical positions. You can hear footsteps and shouts from off in the distance now that the ringing has pretty much stopped, finally. You can hear the chaos of what you presume to be encounters with the Klingon special forces and the Romulan ones off in the distance, and they seem like they're doing okay. As you're all waiting for this next arriving wave, effectively, everything feels really quiet for the briefest moment. The air and sound dissipate. Things become incredibly still. You can feel almost like beads of sweat forming
Hey, Commander.
Real time.
Yes.
I never want my request for a grenade launcher denied again.
I will see that you get one. Corporal.
As the tense situation begins, and continuing that sort of still air, that silent, that loud silence that kind of permeates the area. This dull, almost echo-like, as you're hearing voices of your compatriots as well as voices beyond. And then a noise you aren't expecting. Phaser fire from a ship. From high orbit. And everything is chaos for maybe about 3 seconds, and then it goes very, very quiet.
How close was the phaser fire to us?
Best guess, maybe 100 meters.
This hub is supposed to be a flight control, correct?
Yes.
It would have sensors, correct?
Yes.
I will point to the science member of Havoc Squad and have them check the sensors and see what happened.
Yes, Commander. Oh, come on. You're integrating Cardassian tech with... What are you doing? Okay. One moment. As they open a panel and jerry-rig it a little bit and get it all fixed. Commander,
Yes.
in the sky, we have over 300 ships right now. I can determine that some of them are inherited, but most appear to be Federation and allied nations.
The cavalry arrived. What's the ground situation?
West will take a peek outside.
Taking a peek outside, like just outside the area, or like going towards the blast?
A little bit of both.
Okay. Getting to a little bit of both, Wes, then you're the first one to see it. There is a huge amount of what looks like a Starfleet, Klingon, and Dorian like security task force that has arrived on the ground, and any remaining inheritors that are here are kneeling with hands behind their head with their fingers interlocked, as there is as where you were outnumbered, they are now outnumbered about 10 to 1.
I will get on the the comm link. Lance Corporal West to Commander Aleska.
Go ahead, Corporal.
I think we can stand down hostilities. There seems to be friendlies on the ground now.
Let's get our injured member out of here.
Affirmative.
And I will nod to the science member and open the hangar bay.
Okay, opening the hangar bay. Yeah, you basically get to see what West sees is the inheritor base has been dealt with. And on the ground, actually, there's quite a few Starfleet officers you're not entirely familiar with, but they appear to be, as opposed to having the traditional red, gold, or like teal colors that the primary three divisions have, they're like upper shoulder colors are kind of like this dark leather brown to it. As they approach you, look to be humanoid, but not entirely. Looks like there might be like Bajoran mixed in there.
Mm.
As they approach and notice that some of you look a little worse for wear. I hear you folks had a very eventful day.
Shuttlecraft explosion. And I glance at West. Works every time.
Well, you all did good work here.
I imagine West actually has probably some like shrapnel pieces stuck to his body armor.
Oh, then. I imagine you folks want to get out of here.
Indeed. And I take one of the hyper sprays. They were making this.
They kind of take a look at it and take a tricorder. A tricorder that you have never seen before. Instead of like the traditional like kind of flip up, it almost looks like it's made entirely out of like tempered glass as it goes over. Well, that's a bold move.
Temporary boost with long-term health effects.
Yeah. Well, you don't mind if I confiscate this for at least for debriefing reasons.
Can I do any sort of knowledge check or something to see if I recognize department or anything about this individual?
You know what? Yeah, why not? You can make... Where's my mouse so I can access... There it is. You can do an insight security, that's fine. It'll be a difficulty of 1.
I will buy an extra die.
Okay.
Two 10s and a 1. So 4 successes.
Okay. 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 You've never met this person. But you at least have a slight idea of who these people are. Whereas intelligence offices have have various offices, departments, and field operations. This is the assistant director for the Starfleet Intelligence Bajoran Field Office.
Ah, okay.
As you will note, they have no pips on them denoting rank.
I see.
I fully
And
intend to allow it back for Horizon to analyze. Simply, I need to brief and analyze aboard the ship, but other than that, I have no intention of keeping it.
understood. As someone who has worked in intelligence for a long time, I understand.
Well then.
I assume Jellicoe is not on the ground.
No. No, that is quite literally a little bit beneath them. As, well, shall we get you back home?
Indeed.
Alright. For Apricity's sake, as tough as this battle was, there were no deaths. There were still a grand total of 43 casualties, though it was more of like the scaling from moderate and a couple critical, but overall, not as terrible as you were anticipating for a very, very tough fight. There is the Nova class vessel that has arrived. The commander in charge of that ship beams onto the Hera, and with the chief medical officer and engineer, and meets you, Captain Phillips, up at the bridge with probably Neshik.
Yeah, Neshik's up there.
And
Yeah, he's facing folks.
looking around the bridge, and the captain, they're a Frosian, so they're a little bit more interesting in mannerism, but they look around and never gets any easier when the ship gets like this. It's a miracle you survived, Captain.
Yeah, she's a tough old ship, but can you guys fix her?
This is the Akira class is a fairly old ship, all things considered. This may be. The thing is, realistically, the damage you suffered in this battle is extensive. We will bring a salvage team back here, should we deem the Hera recoverable, but right now our goal is to get you back to Horizon Station.
Sounds good to me. Should I beam over to your ship? Or
I am not going to trust your systems right now, so I am simply going to use one of the docking ports.
because to be honest, I'm running on emergency power. So yeah, no.
The chief engineer of their ship looks over a a Tellarite looks over. Yeah, no shit. Alright. Come on, kids. Time to go home.
Alright, which docking port are we using?
We'll use the starboard one. Your aft one. Your port side aft one looks a little bit, well, screwed.
Yeah. Can I still make an all call to the crew that's still left on the ship? And everyone's pretty much in sick bay.
We'll get them all. We'll get it all figured out. We have several Nova class ships here as well, and those Nova classes are fitted to different mission profiles. Mine specifically, upon assuming what you were doing, mine specifically has 3 decks dedicated to medical.
Good, because I got this sinking feeling that I'm going to need them.
Don't
At
make that a
least.
typical phrase, Captain.
No, I'm not making a typical phrase. I just got this gut feeling right now. After what just happened, I think both my medical officers could use the extra space for med beds.
You should probably brace yourself too, Captain. They were going to be none too happy with you, whether or not the actions were needed.
Yeah. It'll be all on my report, and I'm already expecting to be chewed out by Jellicle or whoever else.
The exit from the Hera occurs as you leave the Hera, and looking back, you specifically, Captain Phillips, as everyone else has left the ship at this point. Looking back into the Hera, its corridors are very empty, it's damaged, the dull lighting from the emergency lights. Finally, the airlock doors close to the Hera.
And the last thing the ship would hear is the captain saying, "Thank you."
The last few memories that you have here are varying and very particularly interesting, as the threat of the inheritors is ended, and it's the question of what comes next here. Heading at high warp with the USS Yorktown, a capital fleet ship, heading back to Horizon Station with a question of what now? That is where this season will conclude. And for season 3, this is something I want you all to think on as we take the break a little bit before the final 3 or 4 episodes for season 3. What will all of you have achieved or been doing within 5 years' time?
I can tell you what's going to happen when we get
boy.
back. The captain get chewed up by 2 medical officers. I can tell you that.
But
Yeah,
yes,
I'm getting
that is
chewed
the
up.
conclusion of season 2 of Star Trek Horizon.